a few days ago was September 11th, which is a pretty big deal here in America. I think for reasons everyone knows. And this came out on September 12th. All buildings matter. Now, I don't know if anyone else saw this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I should only have to go back 3 days, 4 days, 4 days. Uh, here we go. Uh, I mean, he probably will show it, but anyway, someone. Here it is. Uh, yeah. This was all days matter. Um, I I did see a couple of people say all buildings matter in the same kind of idea. Um, Basically pointing out the rhetoric that these buildings crash. Celebrate. Remembering the buildings that were destroyed. A lot of this is tied into the recent uh, criticisms of Trump, where 3,000 people died in 2001, and we were, that was a moment we will never forget. We're supposed to, uh, you know, an enduring 20-year long war on terror has resulted from around 3,000 deaths in September of 2001, but 180,000 people die in as a result of COVID, and it's no big deal. So let's see what he has to say here uh, about all buildings matter. This should be fun. Tatum, take it away.
Really? On 9/11? This video is brought to you by TatumReport.com. TatumReport.com. Share this video. Let's get into this. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, I got to make this video because I am sick and tired of being sick and tired of watching these people be delusional. Now, I was going to do it yesterday.
Why are you doing it at 5 o'clock in the morning? Like, were you busy all of September 11th that you couldn't record this 6 minute video? I mean, I understand it probably took him 20 or 30 minutes to record this 6 minutes of video. But really? You want us to sympathize with you because you're up at 5 a.m. doing this when you surely didn't just see whatever you're reacting to here?
Yesterday on 9/11, but I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a break. I'm not going to perpetuate or peddle the foolishness while people are remembering what happened to our great country on 9/11, the people who were lost their lives. But now that it's the 12th, I got to get into this.
So you don't want to be disrespectful on September 11th. So you're going to wait till the very next day. Got it.
Why in the world are leftists trying to compare the phrase all buildings matter with all lives matter? Let's break this down.
Satire and nuance is fucking dead. We're deliberately saying that to mock your usage of all lives matter, because all lives matter. I guess I'll go into this. So Black Lives Matter started in, was it 2013? I think. I don't remember exactly when it started, but it was basically reaction to the consistent status of black people not mattering in our society. That is, they consistently did not. Uh, their rights were systemically. Uh, they were systemically disenfranchised. They were treated at best as second-class citizens, particularly by the police. They were, and still are, the victims of disproportionate violence, both in their own communities due to poverty, and police and systemic violence through the judicial and court systems. So this is the origin of Black Lives Matter, and shortly after it gained traction, a lot of people, most pretty much exclusively conservatives, though some like liberal centrist types got in on it. Uh, Actually, all lives matter. You're being racist by singling out Black Lives Mattering. When the point was that yes, all lives should matter, which is the common response. All lives won't matter until Black Lives matter. That's kind of the argument and the point. So with Black Lives Matter, they're arguing for equality and parity for black people. All Lives Matter is trying to obfuscate that point and trying to delegitimize Black Lives Matter by giving that pseudo woke. Well, I don't see color. I don't care about color. That kind of bullshit. With All Buildings Matter, we're literally mocking that all lives matter rhetoric because conservatives are the first people to fall to their knees and weep uncontrollably about the destruction that happened in 2001. And oh, the terrible lives lost and how we need to get vengeance for it. And it's like is mocking you. But since conservatives don't have a sense of humor and can't take a joke, they think it's legitimate and that people are really saying all buildings matter and that the what happened on 9/11 wasn't a big deal, which I'm sure ties into the whole Ilhan Omar criticism of her saying some people did a thing, which in context was a perfectly reasonable statement, but because context and nuance are completely out the window in today's culture, that doesn't matter.
Down real quick, just in case you are delusional enough to believe the rhetoric that these people are spewing. When you say all lives matter, you are not excluding Black lives. You are saying including Black lives. And let us not.
In theory, yes. However, when we look at the kind of people who support All Lives Matter, who put All Lives Matter in their Twitter bios, or post it to Facebook or Instagram or whatever, the people who use them, they're trying to delegitimize and destroy the Black Lives Matter movement, which is a legitimate movement trying to create equality and parity for black people. It really is that simple. All lives matter. Yes, in theory, all lives matter is inclusive, but it ignores the actual arguments of Black Lives Matter. It tries to say that Black Lives Matter is agitating for something that they already have, or they're seeing problems that don't exist, or whatever.
Not go astray and begin to divide one another because we all matter equally. Now, when you try to just say
Again, that's the idea, but that's not the reality.
Black Lives Matter, everybody knows that Black Lives Matter. There's not one person I know that don't believe Black Lives Matter, except some black people that live in the hood. But
Oh boy, it's black on black violence. I know one person who doesn't believe Black Lives Matter. Donald fucking Trump. Most of the Republican Party doesn't care about black people unless they are going to vote for them. In fairness, Doesn't seem like the Democrats care much about uh, black people unless they're voting Democrat either. So it's not like this is a partisan issue really, which is again kind of the point. So this guy saying I don't know anyone who doesn't believe Black Lives Matter. He may legitimately be telling the truth that as far as he knows, everyone in his life does believe Black Lives Matter. Because a lot of racists hide it around their black friends in order to say, hey, I have black friends.
Other than that, most people would agree that Black Lives Matter. But now they're starting to make it a cult. Now you are making it to where you want black people to have privilege. You want revenge on white people. This is not.
Well, there's definitely a small subset of the black community who do want like black supremacy and or black separation. They're a minority. The majority of activists who are black or Black Lives Matter activists don't want black supremacy. They don't want. Well, there is a lot of memes tossed around about turning the tide and enslaving or subjugating white people. You know, Mayo side. White people, and a lot of legitimate arguments of white people suck or whatever. No one is actually advocating for black supremacy in Black Lives Matter. There may be a few fringe groups who use Black Lives Matter as a cover, but it's not what the actual movement is about. This guy seems, as a black man, seems to live in fear of what is that awful? Well, I don't know that it's awful. I think it's a movie, and basically this dude goes to an alternate reality where white people were enslaved by black people, and like white people are, the black people of that world, and black people are in charge. There's black supremacy, black privilege. What the hell was it called? I know there was. Ooh, I'm going on a list for this search. Let's see. No, not supremacy. It's a new one. Okay. Movie where white people are enslaved. Cracker. That's it. That's a series. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? Why don't you step out? Take that!
God, the language here in this so far is just so awful and disgusting.
Shit off your head, monkey!
Sure that black monkey would fuck you are!
Fucking Mother Earth, make sure I get my nut. And if she bleeds gold, they should crown me King Tut. Nat King Cole, King Solomon, these nuts. Nutrition, fucking oil, you get rich when I bust. Fucking Mother Earth, I'm starting to get dizzy. I made that bitch squirt and created the Mississippi River. My nigga took a trip to nigga.
What you looking at, Cracker?
What's your name, Cracker? Michael. Well, you know names.
I don't actually know if I can continue playing this song on Twitch, but whatever, fuck it.
Where I come from, this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you are, Cracker.
Welcome back. Be cool.
I'm going to.
So yeah. This is the yeah, fine. Whatever. Can I get out of here, please? There we go. So I don't know what this. Oh my god. Fuck off. Fuck this. Daily Mail. Yeah. Here we go. Let's look at IMDb for information about it. So this is what a lot of people like Tatum here seem to be in fear of. Is this kind even though Tatum would benefit from something like this, the same way that I, as a white person, benefited from slavery and other white privilege. This seems to be what they live in fear of, is this kind of reality, which is not what anyone wants. But when you try to delegitimize a movement like Black Lives Matter by saying, well, all lives matter, then yeah, you're not helping.
A exploration into the value of black people. That's not the case. And to compare that to the philosophy of the buildings, the trade centers that went down on 9/11,
Wait.
not one person I know that don't believe Black Lives Matter, except some black people that live in the hood. But other than that, most people would agree that Black Lives Matter. But now they're starting to make it a cult. Now you are making.
So this is something else I see a lot from conservatives. Anything where you have a bunch of people who believe in the same thing, even if it's for rational reasoned, even if it's a rational reasoned belief, backed up by data and sources, then it's a cult because they all believe the same thing, even though conservatives often believe the same thing with even less reasoning than leftists.
It to where you want black people to have privilege. You want revenge on white people. This is not a exploration.
I can't say no one wants revenge on white people, but the people who do want revenge are not the thought leaders or actual leaders of this movement. They just want equality. They want parity. They want equity. They want to be able to walk down the street and not worry about someone, maybe a cop, deciding they look suspicious, and suddenly they have a gun in their face, and they're being asked some tough questions. Or sometimes they don't even get asked questions. Sometimes they just get guns in their face and then get humiliated before they get shot, like Ahmaud Arbery.
Into the value of black people. That's not the case. And to compare that to the philosophy of the buildings, the trade centers that went down on 9/11, and saying that all buildings matter, as if that's the same feeling or same contextual idea.
It's not. No one thinks it is. It's a joke. It's literally a mocking, satirical joke at your expense, and you took the bait. You got all worked up, got up at 5 a.m. to make this fucking video because someone made a shitpost on Twitter. Like, for real.
Of all lives matter is ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not individual persons. Buildings don't experience police brutality. I mean, how are you going to be an activist for a building? We're not expressing.
No one is what? He's really taking this shit seriously. He's taking a shit post seriously. Wow.
Just the building. Those are the lives that were lost in the building as a result of an attack on our American soil by lunatics. And so When you look at the reason why people point out the trade centers is because that was the epicenter of violence. Most people lost their lives at the trade center, not only in the trade center, but as a result of the trade center falling and what the damage that was done in New York City. So I don't understand how people with a rational brain can make that argument. And matter of
No one is making that argument, Tatum. Literally, no one earnestly believes 9/11 doesn't matter. All buildings matter. It's literally you can't satirize conservatives anymore because everything they earnestly believe already sounds like satire. For instance, anybody see J.K. Rowling's new book? Let's see. Okay, so missing dot. So, where's the pink news? They had a. There we go. This has the now. Pink News is not a great news source. I don't support them necessarily. Fuck off. Anyway. Okay, fine. I'll disable it for right now. About a murderous cis man who dresses as a woman to kill his victims. When I first read this yesterday, I thought it was a spoof. I thought this was an Onion article. I thought the Onion had someone ate the Onion because I first saw it from Pink News. That's where it was first leaked. I thought this was an Onion article or some other satirical website article trying to come up with the most ridiculous premise for a J.K. Rowling novel plot. Come to find out, no, this is legit. A man dressing as a woman to kill his victims. I almost want to read this. I know it's going to be bad. But I almost want to read this just to see how unhinged it is. To see how many references to someone going into him able to get away with his kills because he can go into a woman's restroom. Like, seriously, this is insane. So when someone, probably some Twitter rando started it, said, all buildings matter. And you notice he hasn't shown any source here. It's just been his mug in the camera. Because if he had, like, if this was an actual, like, press release or an actual statement of someone with some, like, actual systemic power, then he might have a legitimate grievance. But it was probably some Twitter rando, like the link I should still have it on my clipboard.
In fact,
yeah, like this shit. This is just some random 1,700 follower account. Just made a random shit post. Got 200,000 likes. Because lefties found it ironically funny, and conservatives probably got ass mad about it. Yeah, I get what you tried to do, but use another tragedy to make this point is really distasteful and disrespectful, in my opinion. Yeah, to you. I think it's hilarious. I think it's a wonderful send up of this conservative idea, and I support this person's right to do so. True, Dodge. Yeah. I like how every Officer Tatum video starts with them stating a strawman premise, then backing that up for 6 to 12 minutes. Yep. That's about right.
They don't have a rational brain. So let me not speak in that context. I'm just expressing
Hey, Black Lives Matter cultists don't have a rational brain. Right.
that this is foolery. It was trending yesterday on Twitter. We have gotten to a point in our society where people are
Was it
so,
though?
I was going to say they're so smart, they're dumb.
I don't know how to check previous trends on Twitter. I guess previous trends on Twitter? Past trends on Twitter. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so Twitter's top trending topics on 14th September. Okay, not in the top 10. Rip J.K. Rowling, I remember seeing that. Yeah, it's not even the top 50. So, wait, I'm dumb. I'm dumb as shit. I'm sorry. Okay, so it was number 2. All buildings matter. Okay. How many of these do you think are going to be people complaining about it and calling it disrespectful? Yeah. White people law slavery. Someone makes a joke about 9/11. White people. No, you listen here. Yeah. Someone tweeted all buildings matter on 9/11. They would be called insensitive, disrespectful, and an asshole. Hope every single one of you remembers that the next time you tweet all lives matter when black men is killed unjustly, it's stupid and disrespectful to us. Yeah. Here's someone explaining the joke. Never forget white moms attacked black residents' business of the Greenwood District, Black Wall Street in Tulsa. Hundreds of black people were killed and 35 square blocks were killed. All buildings matter. Yeah. A couple of people using it to point out the discrepancy. Yeah. So I guess it was less of a joke and more just a pointing out the hypocrisy of all lives matter and how the destruction of those buildings was incredibly important or whatever. Form in order to think that all buildings matter makes relevant moral. A good point, man. Some of you missed your calling us Cirque du Soleil performers. And here's someone who could be making a conspiracy point, but is probably just shit posting. So yeah. Yeah, and here's someone again explaining the joke a little more succinctly. Why is all buildings matter controversial when we say that we're including 9/11 in the Twin Towers? Everyone matters. It's okay, I was wrong. It did trend on September 11th. White people, all lives matter. All buildings matter. Trending. White people. Here's someone being dumb. Because this is not what Black Lives Matter is protesting. It is black people killed by police in specific, but yeah, and I have to wonder how many of these. I'm not going to go through all of these tweets because I'm sure there's thousands. But I wonder how many of these people are people pissed off about the hashtag. Because that's something I've noticed a lot on Twitter is that people will somehow a hashtag will get trending, and then or it'll catch a little bit of traction in a few communities, and people start counter talking about it, saying like in that case, people saying hashtag all buildings matter. It's disgusting. You're uh, minimizing the thousands of people who died on that day, or like the Ben Shapiro quote, the amazing contortions to believe that this hashtag is good, moral, or smart. You missed your calling Cirque du Soleil. Those kind of tweets also add into trending, so it creates this kind of snowball effect. Whereas more people try to uh, uh, discount it or get people to not talk about it, it causes it to show up more in the algorithm. That's why if you see a hashtag you don't like, don't tweet it. Better off just not be on Twitter at all. But if you are on Twitter, don't tweet a hashtag you don't like, because the more people talk about it, the more it trends. And I'm sure that that's a good part of why All Buildings Matter got to number 2 in trending on September 11th, was because conservatives and centrist liberals getting ass mad about it, causing more people to get into it. It was just a dumb shitpost showing how stupid All Lives Matter is, and y'all took the bait.
But I don't even think these people are smart. I think they're becoming so woke they're actually asleep. These people are actually
So
sleepwalking.
woke, they're actually
Like people
asleep.
like you and I,
Nice.
the people that are watching this, they're watching my channel. We're actually the woke ones. We're alive. We're active.
Yeah, we're alive. Black Lives Matter, that's a dumb cult. All lives matter. Even though black people get shot 4 times as much as white people in police interactions. Even though black people are offered significantly worse interest rates on the same credit score as white person. Even though the average the average net worth of a black family is orders of magnitude less than the average net worth of a woman of a white family. Yeah. All lives matter. Yeah.
Our brains are moving. These people are sleepwalking. That means that they think
Hey, Wizards Red Book, how's it going, comrade?
that they're woke, but they're still asleep. They're still consciously not aware of what's really going on in America. And this anti-American rhetoric needs to stop. So the reason why I'm making
Anti-American rhetoric. Oh God, I love the mask off that a lot of these conservatives and fascists use when they claim that anyone who is criticizing America is trying to improve America is anti-American. Like how the people now, I will acknowledge there's a good contingent of people on the left who are anti-American, who want to see this country burned to the ground, and want to completely destroy everything that is America. But particularly talking about Black Lives Matter, most of the people involved in that, in these protests, want to see America improve. They want America to continue to exist, and they want it to improve. They want to create a better world. They want America to be part of that better world. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big statist. I think that states are pretty fucking cringe. But in our current world, I don't want to see America destroyed. I want to see it changed into what it was intended to be, only more so. Exactly, Wizards Red Book. I don't want the country to burn. I want the systems of oppression to burn. Exactly, yes. And he's here reinforcing those systems of oppression by saying they don't matter. Luna Cop, squirt a go-gurt down the back of the neck of a fascist. Join a union. Fuck America as it is today. We can do better. True.
in this video is because I do want people outside of the bubble, outside of the choir, to understand that you got to start checking these theologies before you adopt them. You need to start evaluating, does this actually make reasonable sense? It's just something.
I am shocked to hear this come from Officer Tatum because if people actually looked into things like Black Lives Matter, like socialism, if they looked into them honestly, he would get a lot fewer views and a lot fewer subs. That's for damn sure.
Something that is rational? Should I be getting behind a movement just because it sounds trendy, just because these little blue haired kids are running around crying because they mom and them didn't whoop them enough? Or
There it is. The blue haired kids who didn't get whooped enough are the ones leading BLM. Never mind that it was started by 3 black women. Never mind that while I don't know that the overwhelming majority of protesters are black, there's a sizable contingent of non-white people within the protests. And never mind that that doesn't fucking matter. We're fighting for human rights. It doesn't matter what we look like, whether we have blue, orange, or brown hair. We're fighting for human rights here, Tatum. Fuck off.
should I be mindful and thoughtful and saying, do I love America? And if I love America, don't I want to see us all grow? We can all work together to make things better for each person. But when you isolate black people, when you isolate white people, when you isolate LGBT,
See, we're not trying to isolate anyone. That. Honestly, I think maybe it's just kowtowing too much to conservative idiots. But I think choosing Black Lives Matter as the slogan was a mistake because it is very easily twisted into this only Black Lives Matter or black people should be should have. Hey Dodge, thanks for gifting a sub to Wizards Red Book. Thank you, man. Black Lives Matter is a good movement, and I understand the punchiness and the correctness of the slogan of the name of the group. But I do think maybe they could have workshopped it a little better to find something that wouldn't be so easily turned into an anti-slogan. Now, this is me, second guessing and armchair analyzing a movement that's nearly a decade old and has achieved quite a bit of influence. So I understand that maybe I'm talking completely out of my ass here. And obviously, I don't have any better suggestions for Black Lives Matter again, or a better name for them. But there is a certain amount of, it's easy for our enemies to twist Black Lives Matter into an isolationist name, an isolationist term, that could have been avoided with a different name. That being said, I fully support Black Lives Matter, and this guy is full of shit. No one is trying to isolate black people or white people. We're trying to get everyone to work together, whereas you just want things to maintain the status quo where it's harder for black people and white people and people of all colors to work together.
LGBTQ, when you isolate Hispanic, you begin to divide America for no reason. Ladies and gentlemen, people of all race, colors, creed, sexual orientation deal with struggles in America. It is a human condition. It is never going to go away because as long as you have lazy people and evil people, you're going to have a demographic of our population who are poor and who will become victims.
Here's that not quite prosperity gospel narrative, but that if you're poor, it's because you're lazy. I got a lot of issues with my father. I mean, he's been a good father, but he's a blue collar worker born in the late 50s, so he's got some ingrained prejudices, shall we say. But he's been a hard worker his whole life. He's worked in foundries. He's worked in cabinet shops. Right now, he works retail because that's the only job he could get, and he's stuck with it. But he works hard. And you know what? He's been poor his whole life. Uh, my best friend works hard. Sometimes puts in 12, 13, 14-hour days at work. Still poor. I worked hard. I'm still poor. Hard work is not necessarily the determiner of financial success. But conservatives like to say, "Well, if you just work hard, you'll be a millionaire someday." And that may be true. Maybe if you get lucky, work the right jobs, and save frugally, save absurdly, maybe you'll be a millionaire by the time you're in your 70s, i.e., Bernie Sanders. But, I mean, hard work is not, it's more about the opportunities you're given and taking advantage of those opportunities. My sister, she's not wealthy by any means, but she lives a comfortable life. And she did work hard. I'm not going to say she didn't, but she had a number of opportunities. She had she went into the National Guard out of high school. Did a tour in Afghanistan. In fact, she was there for about 9 months, I think. And then when she came back, she I believe she received a partial disability from the military. And of course, the GI Bill put her through college. 6 years of nursing school. And for a good chunk of that time, she was with her now husband, who does come from a relatively upper class family. Again, I don't know where the line between wealthy and not wealthy is. If you consider wealthy to be anyone with more than $1 million, then they're not wealthy. But they're the kind of people who, well, one of his cousins did a destination wedding in Jamaica, and it was assumed that most of the family would be able to make it, and they did. So, they're not millionaires, but they have money. And she was able to rely on them for things while she was going through school. Now, she did work hard. She still works hard. But she got a lot of help that even she has trouble acknowledging. So this idea that hard work is the only determiner of success is just absurd.
At some point, that's inevitable. It's inevitable. But we can all work together to try to attack that when it appears, no matter who's the person that is perpetuated against. So I'm just tired of the BS, man. I'm tired.
So when an organization comes up and says, "Hey, there's systemic issues with the way Black people are treated in society, and we need to change that," you get upset about that. You being Officer Tatum and also conservatives. So don't give me this bullshit of when there's a problem, we can work together to solve it, because we've identified a problem. We've explained what should be done to fix it, and you've resisted every single step of the way.
I'm tired of the anti-American rhetoric. I'm tired of the division. But anyway,
there it is again. We're trying to improve things in America, so it's anti-American rhetoric. There it is again.
I could talk about this for 3 or 4 more hours, but I want you to watch the rest of my videos. Comment in the comment section.
All right, you're done shilling. Yeah. He got upset over a fucking hashtag. Holy shit. I mean, 6 minutes isn't a long video. I've managed to stretch this one to 45, but he got upset over a hashtag. He took the bait. How many other conservatives took the bait on All Buildings Matter? Oh, Officer Tatum, I hope you never learn how dumb you are. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to like, share, and leave a comment because it helps me. Subscribe and ring that bell to help you. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.